Hi everyone, it's Derek from the iReady podcast here, and this is my reaction to the 1-0 victory against St Mirren today. It was a slog, and barring one piece of magic from Borna Barisic on the 58th minute, it saved our blushes, but we got our 3 points, and that's the main thing that really matters, isn't it? We needed that 3 points to go into this next game, obviously against Celtic. They've obviously to play later on today, but it was certainly a tough performance today. We were never in doubt, to be honest, about losing the game, but we still struggled to break down the ultimately what happened to be 11 men in the box at what a good few points in the game. There's not really a lot to talk about, but because it was really just us with pretty much, I think it was ended up in the high 70% possession for us. We completely controlled the game, but we just couldn't break down their defence most of the time. We were having a few shots, they were getting deflected, they were going wide, we were off target again. Very similar to some of the other away games we've played this year so far, where they just play so defensively and we found it hard to break down. In the first half, we started off really strong and we nearly got the goal straight away with Defoe getting a chance where it was a long header knocked up to Defoe, who was facing away from the goal. He knocked it down into the path of Arfield, who laid off a great pass into the box. Defoe got past his defender and hit a sliding shot, but it went wide. They're the kind of things that he normally buries, but on this occasion he obviously never. And really we could just kind of keep plugging away, and there was nothing really clear cut. A couple of half chances into their box gathered by the keeper. St Mirren's best chance of the half came in the 28th minute, where it was a long cross floated into the box from them on the right hand side. McGregor seemed to leave it. I don't know if he was blinded by the sun or he thought it was going wide and he misjudged it, but it ended up grazing off the top of the bar and going back into play. Really unlucky there, or rather fortunate for us, if you want to put it that way. So we kind of rounded off the half doing the exact same, just couldn't break them down. We were playing far too many long balls up, far too many crosses when it just clearly wasn't working. One touch too many quite a few times as well. We're looking for the perfect angle again. They were tightly compact in their box. I mean, there was a good few points when they had all 11 players in their box, and you could have Lionel Messi in the team and it would still be a difficult to break down a tightly packed defence. They done their job very well, St Mirren, throughout the game, and you've got to praise them for that. They obviously wanted a draw, and they were going for it, and they nearly got it if it wasn't for a piece of magic there, as I said, from Barisic. So into the second half, again we had a lot of possession, and on the 58th minute we got a free kick from about 20 yards from goal. No disputing the free kick whatsoever. He was clearly brought down. Up steps Barisic and lofted the ball right over the wall, right into the postage stamp, and made it 1-0. Cracking goal. We know he's got that in his bag, and hopefully that's the confidence booster he needs to kickstart his Rangers career. But obviously there's rumours that he's about to leave, so we'll see what the story is with him. The rest of the game we just plugged away. We tried to grind down their defence. It just wasn't happening. We had a few chances. Keeper made a couple of saves, but there were nothing clear cut. It was all really right at him. St Mirren did have a good wee chance on the 89th minute though. They went right up the park from one of our attacks, got down the right, cross played in on the deck, flicks up off the boot of their attacker and into the arms of McGregor. Really dangerous attack, but I don't know how much their attacker knew much about it. It just seemed to kind of flick up off him. Had he been a wee bit more aware and sharper, that would have been probably in the net. So really bit of dangerous play there, but fortunately we got away with it. So as I said, we got the 3 points. That was the vital thing in the game. We are going to go through many more games like this where it's going to be a slog. We just need to keep a bit of patience. If we don't get the result, then we just need to take it on the chin. It's obviously not good, but I see that the other team in Glasgow going to be dropping points as well this season. So we'll just need to hope that on the games that we do falter, we obviously benefit if they falter as well. So obviously that leads us on into the next game, which is the return leg against Warsaw. It's going to be a very tough game again, and we're going to need to be completely on the ball. They're obviously got a dangerous they pose a bigger threat than St Mirren up front, obviously, as we've seen from the last game we played against them on Thursday there. Gerrard's wanted to have the stadium rocking, which I'm sure it will, but obviously, as we found out over the last couple of days, we've now been hit by a UEFA sanction where we need to close a section of the stadium, and we're needing to have at least 3,000 fans missing out. Now, Dave and I will talk about this in more depth when we come to do the next main pod, but what I want to say just now is that some fans really need to take heed of this UEFA sanction now. We've said it on our podcast time and time again, and we're not a podcast that shies away from the issues when they do arise, and we don't like doing it, but we're certainly not going to not have a go at certain fans who bring the club down, because we have done in the past and will continue to do so, that basically shame our club and force the club into positions like they are just now. It's 2019. There is no need for the type of songs that are getting sung that are dragging the club into the mud. Yes, we know it's songs, it's only words, but it's the same with racist and homophobic words. There was a time when they were deemed kind of half acceptable and you could get away with saying things like that. Now they're all outlawed, quite rightly so. It should be the same with certain words. Now, we know we're unfairly targeted by FAIR. We just need to look at the facts that, they've been to every single one of our European home games since we've been back in Europe. We know that there's an agenda against us when it comes to, singing about anything that our club do. Our fans need to be a wee bit more sensible about what they're doing and pick and choosing their fights. We know that there's absolute complete ambiguities over the usage of the words. Some fans seem to think it's acceptable in terms of the other side of Glasgow. When we say it though, it's deemed the worst thing in the world. We know that their fans get away with everything. They've had umpteen UEFA charges, yet still no stadium closure. But quite frankly, I don't give a rat's arse about what happens on that side of Glasgow. Let's deal with our club first. Let's eradicate this nuisance, because we're always getting picked up about it. You just need to look at the media in terms of the likes of Graham Spears and Tom English. Celtic fans can sing what they want, and according to them, but as soon as we sing anything, then they're jumping on the bandwagon again. We need to box clever in this. Eradicate our songs, then we can have the higher ground to combat what's happening on the other side of the city. Deal with ourselves first, much like what we need to do when it comes to our football games. We deal with ourselves first, we get ourselves in a proper position, then we can have a go and worry about what's happening on the other side of the city, or what's happening with any other clubs when they do it. That's all I'm going to say just now about it. As I said, Dave and I will talk about it in greater depth when we come to our main pod. As ever, if you want to check out the rest of our social media, you can go to our website at ireadypodcast.wordpress.com. There you can find all our gambit of sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the whole lot. So Dave and I will probably not be back this week. It'll probably be next week, and we'll have 4 games to cover, but I'll be back with a post-match pod after the Warsaw game, hopefully with some good news, obviously. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.